Hello and welcome back to the Johnny Gets Cash YouTube channel. I'm sure by now you're going to be very familiar with this site, my 2008 Jaguar X-type Sovereign. Bought it in auction, had a load of undescribed damage, fixed all that, was really pleased with the car, sold it. It came back to me. Well, today I've got another update for you, but it's really good news, and I'm thinking this is probably going to be the last time you see this Jaguar on the channel. So if you want to find out what's going on, stay tuned. Okay, so thanks for joining me again on another Jaguar video. As I said in that intro, this is probably the last video I'm going to do on this Jaguar because I've got some very good news. Following my last video where I was explaining the situation with why the Jaguar has come back to me and the story behind that and potentially the issue that caused the return, I was contacted by a viewer of the channel asking if the car was still available, and he was very interested in buying the car. Now, I'll tell you what, I love selling cars full stop, but I tell you what, I especially love selling cars to people who view the channel. Dealing with you guys directly is honestly the cherry on the cake for me. I really love it. Now, I've sold a few cars to viewers in the past, but this one feels a little bit more special because obviously it's been such a journey with this Jaguar. It's been ups and downs throughout, and I'm just very pleased to say that this is now going to one of you guys. So how did that come to be? So following the last video, I was contacted by a viewer of the channel, a chap named Andy, and he was saying he was very interested in purchasing this Jaguar if it was still available. Now at that time, obviously I was still driving this car because after doing those fixes to the turbo actuator, I was still putting some miles on it to try and make sure that the car was sound and without any more warning lights on the dash. So I explained to him that yes, the car is available, but it's not for sale right now, but it will be soon. Had a chat with Andy, really top bloke. He's my sort of person. He understands exactly what the car is. He understands it's an old car and these issues do happen. And basically he's watched all the videos, so he knows what's happened with the car. He knows the full backstory. So again, that feeds into another reason why I really love dealing with you guys. You see everything I do to these cars. You know the backstory. You know how it all works. Anyway, Andy has decided to buy this lovely Jaguar. Now, he has been very patient because he is waiting for the V5 to arrive. In the meantime, while I've been waiting for that V5, I have had a gearbox service done on this Jaguar at a local garage. I have just today picked up the Jaguar. The gearbox is all fresh, obviously no lights on the dash. Since that last recording, I've done probably 200 odd miles and the car's been absolutely flawless. Really pleased with it. So what does that mean for today's video? Well, I am going to be giving this car a final cleanup. As you can see, it's a bit grotty because I've been doing all these miles to make sure the car is sound and without any more lights on the dash. I haven't bothered cleaning it in that time. It is looking pretty gross. Now, that is one thing I'm going to be doing, giving the car a clean up. That's not a big deal because, as you saw in earlier videos, I gave this car a pretty thorough clean and detail first time around. So giving it a clean now will bring it fresh. So in addition to that cleanup, what I'm going to be doing today is changing these weather strips. You'll recall in an early video, I said I couldn't find these weather strips anywhere. They're all bubbled up on this car. I couldn't find any anywhere, and it was a bit of a pain because I thought they let the car down slightly, but they don't leak, so I was selling the car on that basis. Now, since Andy has decided he wants this car, he has gone out and he has found a supplier who can give us 4 of these strips. So we've got the front 2, the middle 2, so all passenger doors basically, so 4 strips. Unfortunately, we can't get the rearmost strips because these were supplied as part of the glass and they are obsolete. We can't get these at all anywhere, so the rearmost 2 I won't be changing. But Andy has found a supplier who can give us 4 of these strips, so all 4 passenger doors. I have now got those strips in my possession. I'm going to be changing those today once I've given the car a clean, so that will freshen things up a little bit. As I said, I couldn't find them anywhere, but Andy's obviously put some proper research time into this. He's found a supplier and I've got the strips here now. I will put the details of the supplier on screen now and also link it in the description because I know when I first mentioned this, a lot of you guys were asking about these strips, saying if I find any, let you know. Well, I couldn't do that at the time. But as I say, my buyer Andy, he has found some, and I will share the details of where they came from in the description of this video, and there's also a logo on screen right now to the chap's eBay page that I bought them from. So if you need these strips, go there, check them out. They seem to be really good, genuine parts. Okay, so here are the weather strips as they've been delivered to me, properly packaged, all 4 units there, proper JLR parts as you can see. So really top service, top item. So I'll be fitting those after I've given this car a clean. So I won't say too much more. Let's just crack on and get this thing clean, get all the dirt off the outside. Now, it's not terrible inside, but I've been using it to run around. I collected those seats in it, and I want to give the interior a nice freshen up as well, because as I said just now, I don't want this car leaving me in anything other than as good a condition as it possibly could be. So that's another job I've got to do today. But really, it's all about those weather strips. So let's crack on and get it done. Okay, so let's have a look at these new weather strips. As I said before, these are proper JLR parts and they've been shipped very, very well, in fairness. I'm not expecting any damage to these from inside the packaging, so that is a good start at least. Okay, yeah, look at that. This is obviously a rear door weather strip because you've got the space for the upright, but as expected, brand new, absolutely perfect. So I'm going to get the others unpackaged now, and then we're going to strip the old ones off the car and replace them. Okay, these are our new weather strips. As you can see, all absolutely perfect and ready to go on. So let's whip the old bubbled ones off the car and do a bit of a side by side. Okay, so if you're wondering about doing this job yourself, something you might find interesting is that these weather strips aren't actually fixed onto the car with anything other than friction. They're just sort of pushed down onto the peened edge of the door. So to get them off, you just lift them. So I'm using just microfiber to protect the paint and a plastic pry tool just to get under it and get me started. But once you do get started, you should be able to just lift the seal off. See, this is the peened edge, literally just pushes on. Obviously I'll give all of this a clean up before I fit the new ones, but let's do a side by side on these knackered old strips compared to the replacements. Okay, so here's our nice new weather strip ready to go on. This is the near side rear door strip, and this is the near side rear that's been removed. So as you can see, they're exactly the same, but this one is absolutely knackered. Now, to give you an idea of what's been going on, there's essentially a metal strip inside this weather strip. Now, on the rear doors, where that upright is, I think water runs down, it gathers in this strip underneath and it just corrodes what's in there. Now, I can kind of rip this open to show you because it's so knackered. I mean, it's really just gone, it's just fallen apart in there. There's nothing left of the metal that would have been in there. But to give you a bit of an idea of what they look like inside, if I can find a good bit of metal and show you, I will do my best to do that. Clearly these were way, way beyond it. Let's see if I can show you what the metal should look like though. Hopefully I can. Okay, so that's actually a bit of a fiddle to strip down, but hopefully I can show you well enough in the light here. You can see the aluminium that's inside of these strips, and that's what's just rotted away when the damp's got into it. Really, really bad, but you can see there by cutting off some of this rubber, it's just coated aluminium basically. And that's the problem, it's just gone to absolute nothing, and that's why it looks so bad. But anyway, this is our nice new one. You can see why they would be hard to try and manufacture yourself rather than buy a proper part. It's obviously a profiled piece of aluminium that's coated in this sort of rubber finish, and it's got this sort of suede window protector on it, which I need to give a quick wipe down to. But yeah, that's the part. So let's clean up the metal that was underneath and get these fitted. Okay, so the good news is, having removed that strip, the metal underneath the door is completely rust free. There's no bubbling or anything horrible there. So it just remains for me to give it a quick clean up so that when I fit the new strips, there's no dirt and grime left hiding underneath. Small detail, but it makes sense to clean these areas while the weather strips are off. And I'll also go down into the window glass a little bit as well. Not that you'll ever see these bits again. It's really just for my peace of mind more than anything else. Okay, that looks good. Ready for the new strip. So as mentioned before, when I was showing these on the table, I'm just going to make sure that the sort of suedey, felty bit that goes against the glass is totally clean, because it was on that table. I'm just going to make sure there's no little bits of grit or anything in there. So it's basically the reverse lot of before. No fixings as such, just got to put it in behind the clips that are on the bottom of these trims and over the peened edge nicely, and make sure everything's seated correctly. So rather than just running in and banging it down, make sure everything's as well positioned as it can be before doing anything too drastic. So I feel like that wants to go forward just a smidge. That looks good. A nice satisfying squeak as it goes down on there. And that looks really, really smart now, I think. So this one, being it's already lifted a bit, I don't think I'm even going to need my pry tool to get it off. I think I can probably just lift that without doing too much to risk the paint. So let's give that a go. Yeah, a little bit of a fiddle on that one, but as predicted, it came off without having to pry underneath it. Nice. Okay, on to the next side. Okay, now that those strips are fitted, I'm going to hit them with a bit of this 303 protectant. Now, funnily enough, this is something that one of you guys in the comments put me onto a few months ago. It's great for exterior plastics. Apparently it's UV protection and it makes the plastics look a lot better. Now, obviously when I cleaned this car, I treated all the plastics with this 303, but as these strips are brand new, I want to give them every chance of lasting as long as possible. So start as you mean to go on, and I'll put some of this 303 protectant on them now. So hopefully applying this at this stage means that certainly for the foreseeable, these strips will remain in as lovely a condition as they are now. So there we go. That is the new weather strips fitted, and they are looking absolutely perfect. I mean, compared to this piece of junk that was on there, how could it not look better? But certainly a vast improvement. Now, of course, it'd be lovely to be able to say I've now got the rear two to do. I've been told that they are obsolete. Of course, I should mention now though, if anyone watching this video thinks that they can get hold of these, please let me know, because although the car is leaving me, if anyone's got the information of where to get them to match these nice fresh new ones, let me know, because I'll pass that information on to the new owner of the car. But anyway, that is the strips done. Very pleased with that. Okay, so that is it. The Jaguar is finally finished and ready to go off to its new home once again. This time I don't think the car will be coming back though, so that's really good news. As much as I've enjoyed having this car and driving it and using it for jobs, I am pleased it's going, and I'm very pleased it's going to such a good home. Anyway, thank you ever so much for watching, and I will, as always, catch you on the next one. Cheers.